Hello, Commanders and Generals. I am Senior Master Sergeant Rene Garza. I'm here to propose a solution to one of our problems in the Air Force is retaining our maintenance aircraft maintainers, particularly the maintainers that work on the F-35, F-22, and our unmanned aerial drones. We currently do have an issue with retaining them, especially first-term and second-term airmen. I'm going to talk to you about some of the issues about retaining them, recruiting them, retaining them, and deeper into our why they're not staying. Find out what's making them unhappy and happy, what possibly could keep them re-enlisting to our force. So we have shortage of aircraft maintainers. Obviously, we have the aircraft maintainers I talked to you about there. We've been having difficulties for the last probably 10 years maintaining the aircraft maintainers. Currently, the staffing numbers in the career field are way below 100%, which is not abnormal for most career fields in the Air Force, but this is a critical position that we're looking at, and through the threats upcoming from China, Russia, and forward moving on, that having a shortage of maintainers could mean a lot of aircraft down on the ground, out of service, possibly losing missions and sorties as well as that. So look at shortage of maintainers. Here we have a graph here. We have authorized positions and actual staffing levels. Looking at the F-35, we have 1,149 positions, authorized positions, and it's only filled by 942. So we're well below our 100%. Understand that we won't be there all the time with military coming in and out, PCSing and that sort of thing. But we're way below our where we should be, as well as the F-22, MQ-1, MQ-9, and the RQ-4. These career fields have historically been low, I've said the last couple of years, due to really when we speak about this, they speak about there being overworked, too many hours. So here we have our shortage of aircraft maintainers. This chart here will show you that our re-enlistments, first and second term re-enlisters, are actually going down. It goes from 2010 to 2017. We have 70% in 2010 for the first term enlistees, and now 7 years later we're at 58%. Same thing with our second termers. We're at 88, and they moved down. They kind of steadily stayed across, and now they're at 81, so about 7% in 7 years. Maintaining this rate, we would not be able to keep the aircraft in the air. Missions, especially we have an AFCENT, which is our CENTCOM missions, and our PACOM missions in the Pacific with threats of Russia, China, and then emerging threats in Syria as well. So it's really vital to keep these aircraft in the air and these sorties going. The next slide here shows currently the solution that we implemented previously was the re-enlistment bonus. Re-enlistment bonus is going to be about 3% is the highest for first termers and second termers. So the chart here, the F-35, second term, first, second, and third term all at 3%. But F-35s are also one of the lower manned career fields, so that's not quite getting the job done. Same thing with our F-22s and our RQs. You notice here our Zone B, which is second term, they're at 3% as well. And this 3%, if they do it for it could be anywhere from $40,000, $6,000. That's that multiplier. And if they re-enlist for 4 years, it'll be 40. If they re-enlist for 6, it'll be up to $60,000. So that is there, and it's an opportunity, but they're still not. It's not grabbing them. It's not keeping them. So we definitely want to look into something to fix that. Our next one is, we asked them why they get out. Why are our maintainers getting out and not staying in? A lot of the answers were overworked, too many hours, the workload is large, and we're overworked, low morale due to the work hours, a lot of stress on the job, heavy stress load. So that's just not keeping them in. They can get out and they can go work at a Dynacore or something like that and do some other maintenance and not have the heavy stress load and that man hours and stuff like that. So that's kind of the option they're going. We're not keeping our best maintainers, our maintainers at all for that reason. They can go somewhere else and utilize the skills the Air Force got for them, the Air Force paid for them on the outside. They can make more money doing it there, and like I said, it's a less stressful job. They also talked about, the feedback was that they weren't getting education. They didn't have time for education. They're working 4, 5, 12 hours days, and little time for education and family, and just with stress and on the family situation was a big workload. So we looked outside. And saw, hey, what are other corporations doing to keep their people? And we compared it to what we have here, and a lot of it's similar. We offer competitive compensation, which is our pay, which is, all our ranks do is our pay grade for our ranks. And then we have merit-based awards. We do awards. We have a great retirement plan. That's probably one of the reasons to stay in for them. And then training programs, flexible work location. Not so much. Whatever aircraft they work on, they're kind of stuck to that aircraft, and there's limits where they can go. But that wasn't one of the main issues where they're getting out. Vacation time. We know about our vacation leave and how we get that. It's the point of them actually being able to take it. We have a heavy workload. Benefits plans for employees, probably best in the country. We already have that. Flexible schedule. They don't have a flexible schedule due to aircraft sorties and demands from commanders and missions that right here that aren't going to go away. They're only going to get worse, more than likely. And then education. We talk about, on the outside, people stay because they're granted education opportunities, and with their work schedule, a lot of them are not. Some of them still can do it, but it's a grind for them. And so look at something like that. That's something that persuades them to get out. And recognition. Recognition goes on with merit-based awards. We all want to recognize our people, but they feel like they're out there, working hard and not getting the recognition. Only when something goes wrong that they're getting called out. So some of the things that actually will keep other corporations keep their employees. We do offer some of those. There's some that we don't that we'd like to work on, and I think the solutions I'm going to bring forward will help that. Will help those situations stay. Okay, shortage of aircraft. Why maintainers do not move the list? As I was speaking earlier, they talked about there's a survey done, and job stress, physical total work, heavy workloads, undesirable working conditions, and challenges of on-the-job training. On-the-job training has stuck out a lot to me is that they're missing. They have, with the recruiting we're trying to do, we're bringing in new people, and not at the rate we need to, but those first termers who are here, they're getting out. And when they're getting out, there's no middle tier to train them. So it goes from brand new, no middle tier, or very small middle tier, to very experienced. And these very experienced are not working at that level anymore. So those very experienced have to come back down. So those challenges of training on the job, they were lacking those middle tier for lack of retention, and that's why we're here today, because we are lacking the retention. All right, so solutions that I believe can help out. It'll help bring the retention rate, the enlistment rate up, and the enlistment actually coming into the career field, an entry bonus, I think will help out quite a bit. So I'll talk about entry field career bonuses. Adding $8,000 coming straight out of basic training. They come in open job or even guaranteed job. When they go to the MEPS, they sign up like, hey, if they score high enough on their ASVAB scores and they qualify for the job, just dangle that $8,000 and bring them in. I think $8,000 means a lot to be someone who's been in for 20 years myself or somebody like you, sir. But an 18, 19-year-old who's very smart and scored very high on ASVAB, $8,000 is a nice carrot thing from them. And I think that'll help bring them to the career field. Once again, the career field, the first and second term airmen is what we're looking at. And the multiplier we spoke of earlier in the earlier chart was 3% across the board, is the highest you can get. Some downward 2 for second term airmen. I'd like to bring a solution to actually raise that from 2% to 3% for second termers, and from 3% to 4.5% for first termers. That would be the list bonus I spoke earlier about bringing in going from $30,000 to $45,000 to $60,000. Of course, that's paid over a lump sum. So on that would have to be forecasted out for budget. I understand that, but this solution I'm putting out there now. Another thing I think would help out, solution to add to it is raise the career field for each one of those aircraft 15%. 15%, because I say when we spoke to them, a lot of issues were they had low morale, heavy workload, wasn't for the time to do education. So if we add 2 more personnel, say to a crew that works on the F-16 or F-35, F-22, that lightens it up a little bit more. So where they can maybe not work 12 hours, half of them can work 6, half of them work 6, and they work 5, 6s. Just throwing options out there to where having 2 more people, a night crew and a day crew, 1 on each crew, would actually lighten the workload and afford them time for education, for just having days off, taking leave, less stress. Like I said, spread out the workload. I think that combined with the multipliers and the signing bonus, I think that'd be very successful to bring them in. Implementing solution. So brought solutions, I want to implement. How are we going to do that? Of course, it's all money, and I understand that, and I know how budgets forecasted out, especially for military national defense. So, of course, we'll go to the wickets, request the budget, request raising the budget. Don't have a solid number figure on that right now, but I know I was eyeballing I know the SRB went up last year from 118 to 126 million. So we'd have to bump that up a small amount. I was looking at 15%, I believe it was. So increasing the budget, doing a request to increase the budget, and then increase recycled release bonuses for a second term. That's going to be part of increasing the requested budget. That's going to do that as well. And then I've been around a little bit, so I understand how money request works, right? So we also, in the solution to that, so if we can't, it's going to take too long for the budget to kick in, going out there and looking at maybe decreasing other less critical command work career fields. Say someone that works at a dining facility, moving that billet over to the maintenance career field and doing that from a few of them. Some of the overmanned career fields, I know a few that are 110, 120%. Xing those out, making those slots for maintenance school, and getting those personnel in there. There's still going to be a growing point from them being brand new to being experienced, but at least we'll have the slots to where we can grow them now. Like I said, moving people around. They say that move less critical career field billets to the aircraft maintenance billets. Also, while we're doing this, that'd be short term. We're still waiting for the budget to get approved. So that's kind of the implementing solution. That's how I was figuring out. I'm going to get smart on it. Is implement it that way. Okay, so once we got that done, we want to look at evaluate. Is it working? Is the solution that we implemented working? It will take a little while to figure out if it's working. We could look at definitely quantitative data, right? We could look at 2019 and where we didn't have the higher bonuses or the higher bonuses or the initial enlistment bonuses. We'll look at those and compare them every year. And when we do that, then we can go ahead and compare it, and we'll see if there's a growth to it, or if it's stagnant, or if it's less. You know, see if it's working. So that's quantitative. Then we'll also use the enlistment bonuses that were distributed through this year. We'll compare the aircraft sorties. We'll look at some hard data and see, are we flying more sorties? Are we flying more missions than previous year? Is this thing working out for us? So we'll calculate that, and then also out of service records for aircraft. You know, are there still many aircraft grounded, or are there more in the air now because we increased the maintenance work field, career field by 15%? Are they getting up and flying, or are we just losing money and creating more spots and not getting the benefit of it? You can see the output from that. The other one we use is we'll evaluate quality data. That will push the survey out to all the maintainers, first term, second term, even third terms, and when they're enlisting to do, are they re-upping? If they are, why are they re-enlisting? If they're getting out, why are they getting out? We use that data, the quality data, and find out and see if it's still the stress or better opportunities outside or the workload. We can compare all that. I'm looking at this and actually probably gotten that information every year, and at the end of 3 to 5 years, we could really put a hard eye on that. Like, here's our impact, and we're getting bang for our buck for it, or we're not. I can almost positively say that we will see some positive changes out of it, especially out of young airmen coming in, the young men and women that will see it worthwhile. I know one of the big complaints for maintainers is that they go work on the flight line in 100-degree sun in Arizona, or in negative 15 in Alaska or Japan, and they work for 12 hours as an E5, and they're getting paid the same as someone sitting at a desk for 8 hours. You know, there's a big difference in that. They hear about that. They speak to each other. They know. This is one of the ways to offset that. Like, yeah, I'm going to work these 12 hours. I'm going to be in Arizona at 110, whatever it is, hot degrees out there, but I'm getting compensated well. And financial definitely makes it easier to accept that stain of working out there all the time. So hopefully we can get this implemented. I think it's some very positive solutions. It's a positive momentum. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you for coming out and listening. If you want to get some coffee and donuts afterwards, we can sit and chat out there as well. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you.